Today, we're talking about the Yamaha ZG01 Gaming Mixer, which happens to be this thing right here that I'm actually using right now. So it's a little inconvenient to show you guys. But let me premise this by saying that this device right here does a lot of complicated and crazy things. So I'm going to try my best to dumb it down and explain it and simplify everything so you guys can understand it at home. So if you guys want to take a look at this, I'll leave a link in the description down below where you guys can find the Amazon link. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to drop a quick like on the video and let's dive right into this. So this is what the Yamaha ZG01 Gaming Mixer looks like. This device is targeted towards streamers and also gamers that play on console. As you can see, the very top, we got a bunch of different buttons, knobs, and different things going on here. On the front, you can see that we got a mic in jack and a headphone jack, as well as an aux jack. And then you got your power button, which turns everything on. That's everything in the front. Let's turn this thing around and see what's on the back. The very left, we have an additional power adapter. We also have a USB to connect to your computer, 2 HDMI in ports where you'll plug in each of your consoles, so you can plug in 2 different consoles and 1 HDMI out to your gaming monitor or your TV. You also have a speaker out in case you want to connect to speakers, and you have your mic in for your XLR mics that you can plug in the back there. So now let's take a look at the front. So this is what my setup normally looks like, how I'm using it. I have my headphones plugged into the front there, and then on the back I have my XLR mic, and then I also have a speaker out in case I want to switch between my headphones and speakers, and then I have it connected to my computer using the USB-C. So let's turn this on and go over all the buttons on the front. So we have a push to mute button, which is super nice because my microphone didn't come with the push to mute button. Then you have your gain control knob for your microphone, and then you have your volume fader for your microphone as well. And both of those are going to be changing the volume. You also have your 48 volts of phantom power for your condenser microphones. And then we have the button that has a 1 and a 2 on it. And that's going to switch between the 2 different ports on the back with the HDMI. So if you have your Switch plugged into 1 and your Xbox plugged into 2, then you can simply hit this button and it'll switch between the 2, which is actually really nice. Then you have the mute button, which will mute it. And then you also have the switching between the speaker out and the headphone out. So that way, if you want to use your speakers, you can use your speakers, and headphones for headphones. And each of the volumes will be saved into that, so you don't have to have the same volume for each. The left column are going to be different voice changers, so you can go ahead into the software and change the different voice changers. So a couple ones that I have this radio voice for my top button.
For the middle button, I have this low voice.
And the bottom button is for a reverb. So I like to jump between the 3 to keep it interesting on stream. The 3 buttons on the right are going to be different audio effects. So if you want to EQ to have your footsteps sound louder in game, then that'll be super useful for first-person shooters. But they also have different game settings and enhancements in the software that you can choose from to have those different presets for 1, 2, and 3. In the top right, you have 2 different knobs, one for your game chat, so your voice chat, so you can turn it down if you'd like, and one for your game volume. So you can actually turn down the game chat and turn up the game volume, or vice versa, depending on how you like your gameplay, which can also be very strategic as well. Then you have the master knob in the bottom right corner, which controls the volume. So after using this thing for about a month, I want to go over a couple things that I think you guys should know. The first being is the price. This thing is actually $300 US, but if you want to buy the combo pack with the gaming headset, it's $420. So this thing is not cheap by any means necessary. This is mainly targeted towards people that really want to take their audio for their gaming and streaming to the next level. Another minor thing that I should point out is that this thing likes to carry grease or oils or whatever the material is on the front. So if you like to push these buttons quite often, you're going to see like different oil and grease marks on it. But for people that want to play console games, this is a great option because, like I said, you can go into the software and do some crazy things. So let's take a look. So this is the software that it comes with, and you can see we got a couple different tabs here on the left. The first tab is mic settings, so you can use a noise gate, a compressor, EQ limiter, so you can edit your microphone to make it sound perfect the way that you want it to. The next tab is the mic effects. These are going to be the buttons on the left-hand side. So the first button, I have the radio voice. The second button is a voice changer, or you can do a beep. So if I want to do a beep, I'll click this and it sounds like this. You can also change the volume of the button by choosing the different options here. And then the last one, we have echo. So this is basically reverb, and then you can change if you want it long, middle, or short. And these honestly come in handy a lot while I'm streaming because it keeps the stream interesting. So then we'll go to the game effect. To keep it very simple, you can choose these 3 different buttons and have different presets. And each preset is going to be different. So you can have one that focuses on music, one that's more relaxing, one that's for an arena, immersive for story games, dramatic, search, and a whole bunch of other ones. Honestly, these are a little vague when it comes to describing what they are, but you're going to have to go in and try it and see which one's best for you, but they all do different things. So the next tab is going to be the headphone monitoring settings, and this is where you can EQ your headphones, so that way you can adjust the audio to how you want it to sound. You can also monitor your mic to see how you sound. And then the next one, we have the streaming output mixer, and you can choose all the different audio levels there. And then you have your outputs as well. Then you have your settings that you can change here, and then you can go to application, they got more there. So the really cool thing that I know a lot of people are excited about, if you go in the bottom left corner here, you can actually emulate your surround sound from your consoles for your viewers. So if you had surround sound in game, you can actually have it set up so that your viewers can hear surround sound emulated through their headphones so they can have that experience. So one thing that everyone's concerned about is that the HDMI is only limited to 1080p 4K 60 FPS, which for me is more than enough. But to circle back, honestly, I think this is a great choice if you got some extra spare change in your pocket and you want to have more control over your audio for streaming and your console game. Personally, I don't play console games at all. I just stream PC games, but this has found a new addition to my streaming setup, so it's not required that you guys play console games. I personally like it more than my audio box USB because I have more controls over it. One last thing I want to go over is that since this thing connects two different consoles with two different HDMIs, you can actually just use one capture card now, because you can put the capture card after the Yamaha ZG01, and that way you can switch between the two without having to get up, unplug, plug it back in to go to each and different console, or instead of buying two different capture cards, which we ain't got time for that. But I'll leave a link in the description down below where you can take a look at the ZG01. Let me know what you like or dislike about this in the comments down below, and make sure to watch this video right next to me. It's going to help you so much in your streaming game. My name is Cody, and I'll see you in the next one.